It just popped up in a playlist, and I like stalked Instagram, and I found his profile picture was the same as the artwork.
Yeah.
I was like, must be this guy. And then I texted him, and then he was like, oh, like I love your song. That's how we connected. Later on, I had no idea who he was. I just like randomly texted him. Turns out he's Sudesh Bhosle's son.
Welcome to Celeb Trend Check, presented by Radio City, where you get to know your favorite celebs and favorite artists up close and personal. Do you know what it is like to dominate the music industry in a way where you become one of the best playback singers? Me neither. But our today's guest is everything we speak about or everything we spoke about. Welcome, Nikita Gandhi. Hi.
Thank you. Thank you.
Please use
Hi,
round of
guys.
applause. How have you been?
I've been good. Honestly, been busy with just traveling a lot up till the last weekend.
Tell me, what's your first core memory as a singer?
Core memory of like singing on stage would have to be Durga Puja Pandal in Calcutta. Like I've grown up in Calcutta, and I think the most cultural thing that happens is Durga Puja.
Yeah.
And you know, all the kids are sort of encouraged to, it's like a talent show basically, you know, all the cultural activities that happen during Durga Puja. And so I think for me to go and sing on stage whatever I've learned, like some Nazrul Geeti or something, so those are the earliest memories I have of singing on stage.
Were your parents also like, beta, ghar pe koi aaya hai, to gaa ke dikhao?
Oh my God, yeah. I used to always have these passive aggressive arguments with my mom. She'd be like, Nikita, everyone wants you to sing. And I look around and be like, everyone is doing their own thing. Just leave me alone.
Like, you know, your career graph has been so interesting. Like, you know, you started with A.R. Rahman. And then you just captured all across all age group, like millennials and Gen Zs, and everybody loves what you're doing right now.
Thank you.
But what I find interesting is that you've captured, or rather you've sung in different languages.
Right.
And that's what's very interesting for somebody who may or may not be very professionally speaking or very familiar with that language. So were there any cultural differences when you sung maybe in a Tamil or a Telugu song or something like that?
The funny thing is, I didn't plan to be a singer. Like, I went to Chennai to study dentistry. I started my career with Tamil film music, with Rahman sir, and it just kind of happened.
Yeah.
So, because I was geographically there studying something else, and it just became a bigger and bigger part of my life. So, I think I just figured out on the go कि अच्छा ऐसा करना पड़ता है, ऐसे होना पड़ता है, सजना पड़ता है. Like, you know, ये इतना, like, I kind of learned on the job कि this is how you behave a certain way, you know, just when you go to a studio or whatever. And it's just literally learned on the job. So, yes, the Tamil Telugu industry is quite different in its own way. Of course, language to hai alag, because I'm from Calcutta. I'm half Bong, half Punjabi, so I obviously didn't speak enough Tamil.
Yeah.
I just knew a little bit to get around.
Yeah.
But of course, it makes a big difference. That was the toughest part for me, to crack the language and to pretend like I sing well in Tamil and Telugu. Thankfully, I've had the guidance of all these amazing composers.
Absolutely.
To, you know.
Yes. Wonderful. I mean, you mentioned about, you studying dentistry and then going into music completely. So while you were studying, were any family members like, beta, मेरे दांत check कर लो, फंस गया है कुछ?
मेरे साथ अभी भी होता है.
अभी, even while you're singing.
Yeah. And by like really famous people.
Oh God.
It'll be like, acha, since you did dentistry, na, can you just check? Why?
Cavity hai.
Yeah. I'm like the free consultant for all dental problems for a lot of famous people.
You have to now mention your clientele.
No, they're not my clients. Because I would also be like, bro, don't trust me to solve your dental problems. I've been out of practice for many years. I can give you some guidance, but like, definitely I'm not going to solve it.
Yeah. All right. So after doing a lot of, movie music and Bollywood music, you decided also to venture into or collaborate with a lot of independent artists who are doing like amazingly well for themselves.
Right.
you collaborated with so many young talents. What's been your major learning when it comes to the indie space, because it's booming in India right now? So what's your
If you're talking about indie, I feel like there's this sort of spectrum. There's like really indie people and commercial indie people, and there's like a whole bunch of people in between. I don't know where I fall in that spectrum, but I have definitely collaborated with both ends. People who've just about whose music I've loved, and I've approached them. I've also approached them randomly. Like, for example, there's this artist called Siddhant Bhosle. I did this. I discovered one of his songs in the lockdown. It just popped up in a playlist, and I like stalked him on Instagram, and I found his profile picture was the same as the artwork.
Yeah.
I was like, must be this guy. And then I texted him, and then he was like, oh, like I love your songs. And then he was like, you want to sing a version of this song with me? And that's how we connected. Later on, I had no idea who he was. I just like randomly texted him. Turns out he's Sudesh Bhosle's son, but I got to know that much later. So it was a very organic sort of connect. So I've collaborated with artists like this where genuinely it's just been a very indie approach. And then there's like people like Bacha who I've collaborated with, who are like at the creme de la creme of commercial non-film music. So everyone has, like, for me, honestly, it's the song that matters. It's the music. It doesn't matter what clout you come with, like how many followers you have or what your streams are like. I think talent is talent.
Absolutely.
It's just that some is seen and some is yet to be seen. So
Hi, my name is Isha. I'm also Bengali.
I saw your reaction, like, that's right.
Okay, so one question that I would like to ask you is, since you have done songs in so many different languages, has there ever been a culture shock for you that was a little difficult to digest?
The culture shock for me was moving to Chennai. That was a big culture shock for me because the singing was definitely not a culture shock, because the singing was the fun part. Moving to Chennai was the not so fun part, because it's very different culture. Like growing up in Calcutta, a very matriarchal society. Then you go to another state, not taking anything away from, like, I had the best time of my life in Chennai and in Tamil Nadu, but it's just very different the way like society is structured. So that for me was a culture shock. After that, the singing was very easy.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi, my name is Sunish. I had a question. Like, as you've collaborated with so many indie artists, so what's the best collaboration you feel? What's the best person you collaborated with?
I think I'm going to give it to the most repeat collaborations for indie, which has probably been Bacha. Because I think he's just a very fun person to collaborate with. And I'm not saying this because he's probably one of the biggest artists I've worked with, but he's like really fun. And like, I like how I get to see him as a writer and not as, like, whatever, the star Bacha, because I feel like he's a very interesting person to learn from like, he's cracked this very beautiful balance of indie and commercial. And I really respect him for that. So I really like working with him.
Hi, Nikita.
Hi.
My name is Leo.
Hi, Leo.
Firstly, I'm a big fan of yours. I'm also a fan of Green Day.
Nice.
Been listening to them since childhood. My question is, what is a weird fan request that you've got during your shows?
A weird
Any-
fan request. There have been a couple. I don't know if it's weird. Like, in some of my shows, a lot of people, they want like something that I'm wearing, which is like not like my top or something, but like
A
I
jacket.
have this cap that I've handmade for my shows, which has Nikki written on it. They'll be like, and they like demand. They'll be like, what is this? Like, like, and this one guy who came out and like, can I take your cap? I didn't know what to say, because I'm like, because at that moment, I think I was like, I don't know, it was so funny because my reaction was like, but मैं कल क्या पहनूंगी? So I think it's usually like with some of my accessories.
Okay.
Like, but yeah, that's probably the weirdest.
That's weirdest that you were.
But there has been one very weird, I don't call it a weird fan request, but it's just been my most borderline traumatic interaction on a show. This coincidentally was also on a show with Badshah, where we were in the club opening for something in Hyderabad, and I was performing with him. It was like his show predominantly, and you know, like I was just singing Jugnu, and then I like it was, we were on a very high stage, and so I sat down, like, you know, singing it and all, and this man just like grabbed my face, and for a second I like froze, and then he kissed my forehead, and I was just like, what the fuck? I mean, you can beep it, but like, what the fuck just happened? And then I was just like, what? I mean, then they escorted him out because it was like very inappropriate, but that was like probably the most
Insane.
yeah, I didn't know whether it was traumatic or endearing. It was like this weird combination of both. Because, like, I hope
Depends on how
he
old
was
that
genuinely
man was.
like, sorry?
Depends on how old that man was.
Then I would say traumatic. No, I was just hoping that that's what he was aiming for to begin with. Then it's both. Otherwise, it's just traumatic. But yeah. So yeah,
Thanks a lot.
we're not very safe on stage always.
Either cap or forehead.
Yeah.
Either of them.
रेडियो सिटी रग रग में दौड़े सिटी